Hey y'all, I'm James Wright, and welcome to my shop. And today I've got a whole bunch of really weird, interesting tools with some fascinating histories we're going to go through, because this is the type of thing that really interests me. Now, all hand tool collectors are users, or were when they were able to do that. But eventually, users tend to find things that they really like, because you don't have collectors without a love for the tool, and you don't get a love for the tool without being a user. And you could say I have a little bit of a problem, but all of these tools on the wall, these are all strictly for use. I use them for classes so that people can come up and grab different things and try different things. I have different tools so I can demonstrate different methods. But every tool on this wall is functional and used on a regular basis. The difference between a user and a collector is a collector buys tools that they're not intending to use. And I think I just crossed that line. I recently started purchasing odd tools that I don't intend to use. And so I think I've actually crossed the line into collector. The problem is, the reason I've purchased these tools is to teach. There's some interesting lessons to learn. And so because of that, I'm technically using them, right? Some of these tools I've shown before on videos, and some of them I haven't. And this particular one is an interesting one. It's a plow plane. The plow plane is basically the early combination plane, in that you could take the iron out and change it so you could actually cut a different width groove for plowing a groove. We believe this one to be a German make, which this is a common depth stop system for German plow planes. But I would love to know more about these, because I've not seen this before. These actually will unscrew, and inside there is a wooden threaded rod, and these tubes are hollow with threads on them. The interesting thing is that this square piece will spin freely, and the gear inside is actually connected to the shaft, so it'll rotate. My assumption is at one point there was a bead chain or a cord that would actually go from this gear around to the other gear and back, so when you turned one, it would also turn the other. But I don't have any record or history of that, and I would love to know more about that. Unfortunately, there is no maker's name on this. There's only a past user's name on there. But when it came up for sale at an auction I was recently at, I couldn't pass it up, because it's just so interesting and so different that I wanted to. And I want to learn some things about this. Now, this one in particular, there isn't too much to it to learn, because it's all fairly straightforward, and it appears to be factory made, or maybe in a shop where this is the thing that they made quite regularly. It does not appear to be something that was user made, though I could be very wrong. This one though, this I love. This is a saw. Basically, what would happen if AI was told to make a saw? Someone had the idea of what a saw is. It has pointy things up here, and it has a handle back here, but they basically had no idea what they were doing. But they did put a lot of love into it with an auger bit, and they put in all of these decorations around it, even on the top. No, they're not there for grip. It is all over the place, whether it be somewhere you would grip or somewhere you would not grip. It's just there for decoration. The blade is even put in with a rivet that goes all the way through the blade and is peened over on the other side. Yes, it does cut wood, and I actually have an old video showing this in work. It's one of those things that technically it would work, but only kind of, sort of. I would love to know the backstory on this, but I probably never will. Someone had an idea of something they wanted and made it. It's kind of like a stair saw, something you would hold up here, but it's really not a good stair saw, and very different from any other one you might come across. But someone had a lot of fun and made a functioning kind of saw. This next one is an old Stanley number 3. Well, just like mine, except for not quite just like mine. This one had been through the ringer, and someone has done a ton to this. You can see the sole is all pitted and absolute mess all the way around, but it's been cleaned up. The rust was taken off at one point. The space behind the mouth has broken out in several times. The knob came out and was replaced with this weird thing that has actually a bolt that goes through from the bottom. There's no chip breaker nut that comes through. It's just set on there. But with all that, it's a very early Stanley. You can see it's pre-lateral. There's no lateral adjuster here. It's not that it's broken off. It's just that it was there. This has been used and reused and reused and fixed over the years, and I would love to know how many woodworkers have used this over the years and how many things this has made. Love comes in all forms and fashions, and this has been shown a lot of love over the years. This is a fun one I did a video on recently, and some people might think, ooh, it's a shooting board plane because the tote comes up like this, but the sole is down here and there's really no reason for that. What we've come to find out is this is basically a side rabbet plane. It's just a really big version of this. You see, this side plane here would allow you to get down inside of a groove and clean up the side walls of the groove. So this would allow you to get down into a very large groove and clean up the side wall of the groove down in that thin area. Someone really knew what they were doing and made an incredibly good plane. Unlike the saw, someone had no idea what they were doing. This is actually a good plane for that function if you ever have a very deep groove. And so, yeah, someone needed it and made up a side rabbet plane. Speaking of rabbets, here is a skewed rabbet plane that I have used quite a few times, and I actually made this about 10 years ago. It was a lot of fun to make, and you can tell I made it for my own to fit my own style. It shapes into how my hand holds this, and there's some carving on here. But I recently came across a plane that was similar to this, but a little different. Here's one that I found that is the exact same thing. Side rabbet plane, very similar size, very similar shape, everything about it similar, and you can tell someone put some love into this to make it fit their own style. A previous user had taken a cloth wrap, wrapped around the back, and then put another piece of leather over, and then tack nailed it in. Not done terribly quality, but honestly, works and feels relatively good in the hand. And then they drilled 3 auger holes here, and on the other side matching. This side they only drilled 2, and that's because when it comes in, your thumb fits into this one, and your fingers come across and fit into that one. So when you're cutting rabbets, you actually have this grip that fits your hand relatively nicely. And no good old barn plane is good without, oh look there's a hang hole that goes all the way through this, so you could actually hang it on the wall. It's one of those things that someone put a lot of time and effort into it. You can see they put the name in here before they put this handle back on there. My guess is that someone started to grow old with this plane and used it many, many times. You see all the damage from the wedge on there. And his hands started to become less functional, wanted something that was a little more comfortable, and put some padding in there and made this a little bit more ergonomic. Hey, maybe I should put some leather on the back of this. This one, though, is one of my favorites. This is basically currently a keyhole saw. But it wasn't originally a keyhole saw. Originally, this was a full-size panel saw, much like this one. The decorations on the top are the exact same on there, and this at one time had a handle with a loop that came down in, but that handle had been broken off and then cleaned up. This shape here is called a lamb's tongue, and it tends to break off as it's fairly delicate. If it's bashed, that snaps off, or the bottom horn will snap off, and eventually it started cracking and the owner just cleaned it off. It's another thing you'll actually see with the plate over time. This one at one time was around the size of this panel saw, and as they sharpen these teeth up, they slowly work their way up, and you'll see these saws where this gets really, really thin. Here's another one by the same company with that same design, and you can see how much this has been sharpened back over the years. And if you continue sharpening, that's just going to continue on up until one day you get up really close to it. And you can see that they ran out of sharpening line, and so they just continued down into this rather than keeping it straight across. This, in this form factor, at one point was down to around here, and they just continued on sharpening it as it went until eventually at one point the tip became so brittle and small that they either broke it off on purpose or it snapped off in use. And now we're left with this beautiful thing. You see this with a lot of tools. As they tend to get used up through their lifetime, their use changes slowly as the shape of the tool itself changes. In a lot of old planes, as you flatten the sole over the years, the mouth gets bigger and bigger and bigger until it can no longer function as a good smoothing plane. And then what they do is they camber the iron heavily and turn it into a scrub plane. Or they might put the effort into it to put another sole on there or replace a piece to fill the mouth and give the plane more life. But eventually it gets to the point where either it's not doing the function it was intended to do, or it serves a new function. Speaking of which, I bet you can't guess what this is. This is one I just picked up recently, and it looks like a really thin plane. It's a little over 2 foot long. It's about 1 3/4 inches wide, and it's got a tote here in the middle, much like any other tote, but the iron is straight up and down, and the iron is only a 1/2 inch wide in the middle. And the mouth, well, it has no escapement. The chips can't come out the side. The chips can't come out the top. They can't come out the other side. The only place for the chips to go is underneath. This one is odd because the iron actually sticks out like this and is unsupported in use. That's because this is a router plane, not a bench plane. The router plane is a fun tool and works well, but it has to be supported on at least one side and works better if there's a support on both sides. And because of this narrow base, if you have a large valley in the middle you're cleaning out, this can't work the whole thing. So a lot of times what you do is get a bigger plate and lock this down on here, and you've now expanded the width of your router plane so it can do wider valleys in between. I actually made this one to do tenons. And it's got this long arm that sticks out so that I can reference things that are way over here. The iron sticks out the bottom and I can clean it out. It's kind of a fun little device. This one does the same thing but references over a long surface. The problem is if my iron goes forward like a normal router plane would, the router plane is intended to be pushed forward and back. In this case, it would cause this plane to rotate because there's not a lot of surface area out on either side. So what they did is they turned the router plane, so now the iron is intended to go in this direction, and it's harder to hold on there, so they put a tote on it so that now they can use this to route out large surfaces and can reach into the middle of a very large space that needs to be flattened out parallel to the outside, which makes you wonder what might need to be like that. Well, actually, I was at Williamsburg not too long ago, and they were making out these dished tabletops where they actually recessed in the whole tabletop. And they did it with more traditional hag's tooth, doing it in a circular format and then coming back through, and in the middle they could do with a regular bench plane. But with a tool like this, you could actually clean out that large surface much easier. So an odd tool that needs a specific purpose, not something you do every day, but every now and then you might need a router plane that can do a large area. In this case, it's kind of interesting. Makers over the years have done some ingenious things when they needed a tool to do a very specific job that you don't need to do every day. And things like these pop up from time to time, and I absolutely love them because they either tell a story about the maker, something that they were going through and wanted a tool to fit themselves, or a task that they were doing and they needed a tool that could do that one particular task and do it well. Or maybe the tool tells the story of its life over the time through many different people and how it has been fixed and changed and modified to do the same work or to do different work. I personally love the stories that these tools tell, and so I've started buying them when I find them, and I guess that makes me a collector because now I'm collecting the story. The tools have a story to tell, and I want to find those stories and tell them. And that's what I get to do on this channel. So if you like this, let me know in the comments down below. If you'd like to see more like it, or maybe go into a little more detail on one of these. Some of these I actually have done full videos on them if you want to see them in specific. Some of the markings on them are fantastic. But if you did like it, then comment down below, share, subscribe, all those fantastic things you know about that. Thank you. As well as all the people with the names scrolling over here. Those are the patrons on Patreon. Without patrons, we wouldn't exist. You guys are the ones that allow me to buy some of these things and actually tell these stories. So thank you. If this interests you, then think about becoming a patron, and maybe you might get your name over there. So I think that'll do it for today. And until next time, have a wonderful day. I collect the strange and odd and different things. Does that mean that I now have a circus?